Hi everyone, my name is Ann Rogers. I'm a Research Data Manager at PMA, and the purpose of this video is to show you how to create branches and make commits following PMA protocols. If you are unfamiliar with GitHub or GitKraken, please see our other videos, the GitHub SOP, GitKraken's support website, or GitHub's help site. Now, when it comes to creating branches, it's important to start in the master branch. As you can see in the toolbar here, we are currently not in the master branch, so let's switch. Checkout successful. Now, to create a new branch, there are two techniques in GitKraken. You can either right-click on the name of a branch and select Create Branch here, or you can go to the toolbar and click the Branch button. Either method will take you to creating the branch's name. At PMA, there are two types of branches you will be creating. You will either be creating a branch for a round of data collection, or you'll be creating a branch to update template do files. If you are updating template do files, the branch name should be the date followed by your initials, as you can see here, May 17th, 2019 _AR. If you are making a branch for a round of data collection, the branch's name should be the round number, for example, round 6. You only need to indicate the round because we will be creating branches in country organizations. So if you are in, say for example, Burkina Faso's GitHub organization, the round 6 branch obviously correlates to Burkina Faso round 6 and not any other country's round 6. Hit enter. Checkout successful. Now you can see that we are in the round 6 branch. However, you will notice on the left panel, round 6 is only listed under your local branches. It is not on your remote branches. This means that nobody else but you can see this branch. That's not very helpful for collaborating on data collection, so you need to push the branch to GitHub. Hit submit. Pushed successfully. You will now see under remote the round 6 branch. Now that we've made the branch we want to work in, we need to go to our working directory to start editing the do files for this round of data collection. For the purposes of this example, we are going to be editing the do files as though it was for Nigeria round 6. Let's go to the working directory, GitKraken, training, making a branch commit. As you can see here, we have all the do files used for HHQ/FQ cleaning and monitoring. Let's open the parent file and start editing the macros. Now, I won't be showing you step by step every change I make to the do files. We will walk through them when I show you how to make commits in GitKraken. But the changes I will be making are to update the dates in the country-specific do file that indicate that a survey was submitted with an incorrect date. I will be deleting 2 analysis do files on the assumption that they are in the wrong repository, and I will be updating a cleaning by RE do file in order to drop a duplicate household. Once you're done editing Stata do files, close out of Stata, making sure to save all your changes, and go back to GitKraken. At the top of the commit graph, you will also see something new. There's this dotted line and a circle and the letters WIP. WIP stands for Work in Progress. The Work in Progress node stores all the changes you've made in this branch since the last commit. You will see up here there are these little colored icons and numbers. Remembering when we understood other commits, the colors indicate the type of change, and the number indicates the number of files with that change. Orange is modified, so 2 files were modified. Red is deleted, 2 files were deleted. Blue is renamed, 1 file was renamed. We'll come back to the renamed file in a moment. When you're in the Work in Progress node, you will notice that the commit panel has changed. we now have panes that say unstaged, staged, and commit message. An unstaged file is just the file with all the changes you've made in it, but you haven't said that it's ready to be committed yet. So you will see here we have the 5 files that we changed. We have the country-specific file, we have the parent file, we have the first analysis do file, we have the second analysis do file, and we have the cleaning by RE HHQ file. Now remember, we dropped a household in the cleaning by RE file. We've deleted the 2 analysis do files because they belong in a different repository, and we've changed macros in the parent file, and we've updated the code that identifies submissions with incorrect dates in the country-specific do file. So we made all of the changes to these different do files for different reasons. At PMA, we like to have commits that have do files and changes in them that were made for the same reason, and usually we like to only have 1 file per commit, though there are exceptions. Let's first walk through making a commit for what we did to the cleaning by RE do file. As you can see here, we've got the blue icon, which indicates that we've renamed the file. However, this icon is a little bit trickier than all the rest. When you click on the cleaning by RE do file in the unstaged files pane, you will see that we actually changed the code. Here there was an asterisk in the previous version, and here there's not. This means that when Gitkraken identifies that a file has been renamed, you should still always check to see the changes that were made in the file. We made this change because we wanted to drop a household from the dataset. That is not a change that affects any of these other do files. That's not a reason that affects the changes we made to any of the other do files. It should thus be in its own separate commit. So let's stage this file on its own. We can click Stage File, and it will stage every single change we made in the file. Now, it will be a little confusing because what Gitkraken does is it stays in the unstaged files pane and goes to the next file in that list. As you can see here, we're in the second analysis do file. We'll come back to this file in a moment. For now, let's move on to our staged files. We have the cleaning by RE file staged. We've also renamed it, removing the CCRX acronym at the beginning. To complete the commit, we need to create a commit summary and a commit description. At PMA, we have standards of how you should summarize and describe your commits. The summaries should have the name of the do file in them, and the description should detail why the change was made. The summary has a character limit, so we prefer to keep it to 5 words or less, while the description has no character limit. As you can see, we've made the summary update cleaning by RE HHQ to correct errors, and the description example dropped duplicate household. Now we can commit this, and as you see, it says commit changes to 1 file because we've only staged the 1 file. The rest of the files remain unstaged and will not be in this commit. And there you go. We have our update cleaning by RE HHQ to correct errors commit, and the rest of our files remain in the work in progress node. Speaking of the work in progress node, when the work in progress node is open, like it is currently, with this dotted line, WIP, users can't switch between 2 different branches besides the master in a repository. For example, if I wanted to switch right now to the 2019 AR branch, I'd get a checkout failed error result because we haven't committed, stashed, or discarded our changes. Now, if I really desperately needed to be in that other branch to make other changes, what I could do is stash the work in progress node. Basically, it just saves all your changes and holds them for you until you're ready to come back to them. So click Stash up here in the toolbar, and now you get this little square indicator up top. If I wanted to transition to the other branch, I am now able to do that. And if I wanted to go back to the round 6 branch and work on the do files that we've been editing, I would click on the work in progress and click pop. And now we're back to where we were before we stashed all the files. Now let's work on committing the rest of our changes, remembering that to stay in line with PMA protocols, commits should either have all changes of the same type in a single commit or changes that occurred for the same reason in a single commit. So let's commit the deleted files. If we click on the deleted file and it takes us to the diff viewer, it's not very helpful because basically it just says every single line was deleted. And when every single line is deleted, you can just stage the whole file at once, clicking Stage File. Now, the second analysis do file was also deleted, and it was deleted for the same reason, so we can include it in this same commit with the first analysis do file. Let's click Stage File. Now, again, it gets confusing because Gitkraken stays in the Unstaged Files pane, but moving back down to Staged Files, let's write the commit summary and description for these deleted files. As we can see, the commit message is deleted wealth unmet generation and 2-page analysis, keeping in line with PMA's requirements to have the file name in the commit summary. And the reason was this is an example, but these do files belong in the analysis repository. Now let's click Commit Changes to 2 files. Again, only the staged files changes will be in this commit. And there we have it, our deleted wealth unmet generation and 2-page analysis. Now all that's left are to stage the changes in the parent file and the country-specific file. Let's go into the parent file. Now, we're currently in split view, which personally I find challenging to review all the changes that were made when I'm in split view. Let's go to hunk view, and I'll show you a way that you can stage files separately from staging a file all at once. It's called Stage by Hunk. Previously, as we've seen when using the diff checker, you can see file differences in chunks or hunks predetermined by Gitkraken. You can also stage these hunks for a commit. For the parent file, the only change we made was that we changed all the macros for Nigeria round 6. So we're going to want all of these changes in the commit. So we could click Stage File, but I want to show you how to stage by hunk. So you just click Stage Hunk, and then you will now see that the file name is both in unstaged and staged. The staged file just has that one hunk that we staged, and the unstaged file has the rest of the changes. This can be useful if you've made several changes to a single do file, but for different reasons, or you made them at different times and you want to commit them separately, or you're not done changing a certain portion of the file. Stage by hunk is useful because you can just stage portions of a file instead of the whole file at once. So let's just continue staging the rest of these hunks. All right. And again, we could have staged the whole file, but we were just showing the stage by hunk function. And if you accidentally stage a hunk that you didn't want to stage, you can go to the staged file and click Unstage Hunk, and it will put it back in the Unstaged Files pane. Now, this file, as with all of our files when we commit them, needs a commit summary and description. Again, following PMA standards, the commit summary is update macros for Nigeria round 6 in parent file. It's a brief description and contains the file name that's affected. And then our commit description is we updated the macros for Nigeria round 6 in the parent file. Let's click Commit Changes. Finally, we just have the country-specific file to stage. Remembering the change we made for the country-specific file was to update the code that identified whether a submission had the wrong submission date. Now I'm going to show you something separate from Stage by Hunk. This is something that you can do regardless of whether you are in Hunk view, inline view, or split view. Let's go to inline view just for example. We're at this first change and we want to stage this particular change. In inline view and in any other view, what you can do is go to the lines of code and click Stage This Line, and it will stage just that particular change. Again, the file is now both in staged files and in unstaged files. In staged files, only the change that you staged line by line previously is here, and the rest of the changes remain in unstaged files. Let's stage this line as well, and now let's go to the next change. And here we can see the code to identify whether or not the submission had an incorrect date has been updated, but it looks like there was a line of code that was accidentally deleted. We accidentally deleted a comment saying that this was identifying an issue with the year and month of data collection. So let's not stage this deletion, but instead stage the changes to the calculation for whether or not the submission had an incorrect date. So stage this line, and stage this line, and stage this line. Let's leave this line for the moment unstaged. Now going to staged files, we have all of our changes, and now we just need to do the commit summary and description. Our commit summary is update wrong date calculation in country specific, and our commit description is updated the wrong date calculations for HHQ and FQ in the Nigeria Round 6 country specific clean weight file. So let's commit these changes. Now we've committed all the changes we wanted to make, but there's still a change that's unstaged that we have to choose what to do with. We can stage it, but we don't really want to do that because we don't want to keep this change. The thing to do is to click this red trash can button that says discard all changes. What this button will do is discard anything that hasn't been committed. If it's staged, unstaged, regardless, it will discard them. So you should not click this button until you've committed all the changes you want to make. But we've done that and we don't want to keep this particular edit, so let's click discard all changes. Gitkraken will warn you that what you're doing is destructive, but we do want to discard the changes, so let's click reset all. And there we are. Nothing is unstaged, everything has been committed. And the final step when making commits is that you want these commits to be accessible by your colleagues and partners, so you need to push the branch to GitHub. Push successful. And that's all you need to know for making branches and commits. Thank you for watching this video.